Okay, good day everyone. It's Total Investor here, everyone's favorite YouTube investment channel. What we normally do is we review and discuss trading and investment opportunities in the markets, primarily equities and commodities. Today, I want to review what's going on with the stock market, specifically the tech sector in the NASDAQ. Now, I'm going to start off looking at the chart patterns of the S&P 500. This one is an intermediate term chart going back 3 years. We can see that it bottomed out way back at the pandemic low of March of 2020, and it's been an uphill climb ever since. But just recently, especially today, the market has gotten hit. Okay, and some people are thinking that it could be the start of a big correction, maybe something even worse. Well, let's take a look. It topped out a couple of weeks ago, and it has fallen quite dramatically. It's still above the 51 on the RSI. Okay, so it's still bullish with that indicator. Looking at the moving average, this is the 50-day moving average. You can see that it is below that now, and the moving average is turning down, so that's a negative. But we're still way above the 200-day moving average. So that's mixed signals here using the moving average. Going back a couple of weeks, we noticed that the DIs have crossed into negative. So we got mixed signals on the S&P here. Okay, let's take a look at the at the Qs. QQQ representing the NASDAQ. We see a very similar chart pattern. However, there has been a little bit more of a sell-off with the Qs. The RSI is below 50. We're now at 49.84. That's negative. We are currently below the 50-day moving average, and it's sloping downwards. That's a negative, although it looks like we could be having some good support here at around 340 if it gets down there, which will be approximately where the 200-day moving average is. And also a big negative down here is that the DIs have crossed into a sell. Okay, so the NASDAQ again, represented by the QQQs, are slightly more bearish than the S&P. Now, what does that mean for the big stocks as a whole? Well, let's take a look at one of the big ones, Apple. We see here that it made a new high from the last one, which was back in early or late January. And if you notice, there's been a slight decrease in the amount of volume. That's usually not a positive sign, but it's not the best indicator. Again, what we normally do is look at the RSI. That just broke below 50 today. Okay, that's a negative. Trading below the 50-day moving average and just slightly above the 200-day moving average. So that's getting looking more and more bearish. It traded below the previous high, which should have been over here. I guess that was last week. That's a negative. And if we look here at the ADX line, it seems to have topped out a couple of weeks ago, just right after it made its high back here. Okay, that's a negative. We still haven't crossed on the DIs yet, but they are converging. So Apple is looking more and more bearish. Will it continue to do so and cross below the 200-day moving average and turn into a bear market? Well, it's a little early to tell, but nothing is looking. It's not looking great as it is right now. Next, we're looking at the FANGs. Facebook. Facebook had a big outlet, a big issue today with the website, WhatsApp, and also Instagram. They were offline for a couple of hours. I believe that they are now back online. But that stock got hit. Surprisingly, this happened right after the 60 Minutes interview. Interesting. The stock is now trading below the 50-day moving average and just slightly above the 200-day. Okay, so it's mixed signals using that indicator. We are below the 50 on the RSI. That's a big negative. The DIs have crossed into sell signal. That's a negative. And the ADX line topped out right when the stocks topped out. Okay, and now moving downwards. So that's big negative. How far we can go? Well, it looks like the next support level is 300. But we're going to have to watch this one very closely. This one is looking more and more bearish by the day. Next, Amazon. Amazon made a new high here compared to, looks like that's late August. And if we see, the RSI has just been slowly moving downwards. So this is a bearish divergence from this high to this high. We notice that the RSI is actually lower. Okay, not what you want to see. RSI is now below 50, negative. The stock is below both moving averages. That's a negative. And it looks like they are turning down. They have yet to cross, so we don't quite have the golden cross, if you will. That would be very bearish. But we do have a crossover on the ADX. That is bearish. So Amazon, which I would have thought would have been the most resilient, is not. It's probably the most bearish out of all of these so far. Okay. Next, we've got Netflix. Netflix looks like it's the reverse. It's the strongest. It is at the highs of the day, or actually of the entire chart, and it is looking the best. We have the RSI at 66, so it is above 50. That is bullish. The stock is above both moving average. They're both sloping upwards. That's bullish. And the DIs are still in bullish territory. So this is one of the only stocks that I still like, at least for now. That can change. Finally, Alphabet or Google. This is still above the 50. Still bullish. It's been bullish since late April of 2020 when it crossed the 50. Moving up. It's been above that ever since then. Both moving averages are sloping upwards, although it is trading below its 50-day moving average, so that's a negative. But if we look here, the ADX gave a little bit of a warning here that it would be turning down. It's turned down, and look what happened with the stock. It's turned down. One big negative here is that there isn't much level of support until you get to the 200-day moving average. That's quite a ways to go, although we've got some, this is still bullish for now. So this is mixed signals on Alphabet. Really not a whole lot of good news with the market as a whole, but this is what, the charts are showing for all the big stocks. Okay, getting a little worrisome. Just before I videotaped this, I did notice that the equity futures were slightly into positive territory, not big. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, if there's any continuation and how far that goes. Will it be the big correction that many have expected? I don't know. We'll just take it day to day. And well, that's pretty much what I've got to say. Everything that I have mentioned today is to be used for strictly for educational purposes. Not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. But if you do like what you see and hear today, give it a big thumbs up. And please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Very few people do. Hit the big red button that says subscribe. YouTube will notify you when a new video comes out. And if you have any comments, write them down. I'll do my best to answer them. Okay? And having said that, I will see you in the next video. Thank you.